All right, everyone to your places.
We're ready in here, sir.
How are we in the studio?
Stand by, sir. Get the lights.
Yes, sir. Striking.
Quiet on the set, please. We're on in 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hello everyone, don't be afraid, it's just us, the friendly folks at the Arlington Weekly News. Thanks for joining us. I'm Craig Nolan. Richard.
I'm Richard Corris.
There you go.
My name's Adele Quo.
And we've got a pretty good show, we think so, for this, our last show in August of 2017. The Burr months are upon us, so get ready. Our news and community bulletin board, that's all coming up, as well as Adele Quo with another installment of
It's Easy Being Green.
Got everybody involved on that one. CBB, as I mentioned, a roll-in from Denise, our movie and theater reviewer mostly. News for Senior segment, and then take a look at a continuing, another installment of our continuing Studio B series. Had a chance to sit down with Mr. Ray's son, and talk to him and listen to his music. And that's our show, but before we go, a social media reminder from my anchor partner here, Mr. Richard.
You can see us on YouTube on Arlington Weekly News 1, Facebook as Arlington Weekly News, and also on WERA Radio 96.7 FM.
Excellent. And the number one. Don't forget the number one. Thank you, Richard. Here we go is our news items now. Monday, September 4 is Labor Day. And for some people, that means it's time to put away the summer clothes, the swimsuits and the flip-flops, and get out the jeans and boots and whatnot. But that's not how it all started. The very first Labor Day holiday was celebrated on Tuesday, September 5th in 1882 in New York City by the Central Labor Union. And then 2 years later in 1884, observance was changed to the first Monday in September, and other cities were encouraged to join in the establishment of what was then called a working man's holiday. And then June 28th of 1894, Congress passed an act making Labor Day a legal holiday in the District of Columbia and other territories. So that's how Labor Day started. With more on Labor Day information, here's Richard.
The original form of observation was proposed as a street parade to exhibit the esprit de corps of the trade and labor organizations of the community, followed by a festival for the recreation and amusement of the workers and their families. However, times have changed, and mass displays and parades have become problematic in some areas. Arlingtonians wishing to observe an actual Labor Day parade will have to travel to Kensington or Gaithersburg, both in the state of Maryland.
And Richard, also along with Labor Day comes closures for a lot of government offices. For those of us who remain here in Arlington, the following closures will be in effect. The courts will be closed. Department of Motor Vehicles, DMV, they'll be closed. Arlington Public Libraries will all be closed. The Treasurer's Office, closed. Parks and Rec admin offices will also be closed on the upcoming Monday, Labor Day holiday. More information on Labor Day holiday, here's Richard.
For drivers, metered areas will not be enforced. Metro Rail and Metro Bus will operate, but on a holiday schedule. Some ART buses, numbers 41, 45, 51, 55, and 87, will operate on Sunday schedules, but no other ART routes will operate. The Star Call Center will be closed.
And Richard, along with Labor Day comes one of the seminal events of the year. It's time for back to school. So Tuesday, September 5 is the first day after Labor Day. And it's also the first day of schools being in session here in Arlington. Start times vary, so here's a list for both students and parents for elementary schools now. It's 8 a.m. 8 a.m. start time for Abington, Campbell, Carlin Springs, and Claremont. Starting at 8:25, elementary schools Arlington Traditional, Barrett Elementary, Long Branch, and Randolph. And finally, 9 a.m. for Arlington Science Focus, Ashlawn, Barcroft, Drew, Glebe, Henry, Hoffman Boston, James, McKinley, Nottingham, Oak Ridge, Taylor, and Tuckahoe elementary schools. More on back to school information now. Here's Richard.
Middle school and high school students and parents have a simpler schedule. All middle schools start at 7:50 a.m. All high schools start at 8:19 a.m. However, H.B. Woodlawn Secondary starts at 9:24 a.m. and the Stratford program starts at 9:15 a.m. And once the schools are open, drivers will want to exercise extra caution. Now it's time for Easy Being Green.
Great. Thanks
With
so
Adele.
much for the welcome there.
Yes.
Another Easy Being Green by Adele Quo here and our mascot, Joe Tree Frog. As summer fades into fall, you can feel the air changing. And while the kiddos are getting ready to go back to school, September is one of the best months to explore places near and far. Joe Tree Frog wants you to know today's Eco Travel Spotlight focuses on America's only national park dedicated to presenting the performing arts, and it's right here in our backyard, Wolf Trap. It's much more than summer concerts in an iconic outdoor amphitheater and bring your own picnic and drinks on the lawn. You can experience ticket-free fun by enjoying the 6 gardens, 2 hiking trails, and even sledding down the big hill in wintertime. There's plenty of nature to luxuriate on 65 acres of forest and 2 babbling creeks. So mark your calendar for the upcoming free event on Sunday, September 3rd from 1 to 3 p.m. Meet at the ranger station at 1 p.m. next to the box office, hosted by Friends of Wolf Trap, that's FOWT. Enjoy a backstage tour of the sustainable gardens at Wolf Trap. Join this very special walk and learn event by Phil Getkin, National Park Service Award winner and former Chief of Grounds and Natural Resources for Wolf Trap. Phil will reveal the planning, design, and creation of the remarkable native meadow that now sways gently in the breeze, where not more than 5 years ago, the front of the Filene Center was formerly maintained turf grass. This free event will inspire. So if you're hankering to reduce your turf grass and convert some of your lawn into a small meadow of native grasses and wildflowers in the sunniest part of your yard, check out the plant list of the native meadow at Wolf Trap, shared by Friends of Wolf Trap on their website, friendsofwolftrap.wordpress.com/native-meadow. Mother Nature's meadows evolve over many years. If you buy a seed packet of wildflower mix and just throw out those few seeds, you will probably be disappointed. A meadow is a complex interactive plant community or habitat teeming with life, and there are many types of meadows occurring on alpine slopes, wet low-lying areas to open prairies. If you consult an ecologically focused landscape designer who can help you plan and deliver a well-designed meadow, it's modeled after our naturally occurring plant communities. When you plant a meadow, enjoy eye-catching color and diversity of plants, and get ready to see your yard come alive with pollinators, crickets, birds, and butterflies. So remember, it's easy being green.
And I forget that Wolf Trap is a national park.
It is.
So they've got a little something for nature lovers as well as music lovers out there at Wolf Trap. It's a great place. I haven't been there this season yet, but I've been there many times. And it's a fun place.
Beautiful woods so close to Tyson's Corner. It's unbelievable.
It is amazing. One of those little tracts of land that's been preserved and
That's right.
held as a national park. Good information. Thanks, Adele. We appreciate it. As promised, here we go now with our CBB Community Bulletin Board file. On Tuesday, September 5, there'll be a candidates forum at Hazel Auditorium at Virginia Hospital Center. The event starts around 7 p.m. They're located at 1701 North George Mason Drive here in Arlington. Candidates in attendance will be Democratic nominee Eric Gutschall, former Green Party candidate Audrey Clement, and independent candidate Charles McCullough II, all of whom are seeking a seat on the Arlington County Board. This is a great opportunity to make direct contact, to meet and greet the candidates prior to the November 7th election, and the event is being presented and sponsored by the Arlington County Civic Federation. More from CBB now. Here's Richard.
On Wednesday, September 6th, there will be a bird club walk at Long Branch Nature Center at Glen Carlin Park. The address is 625 South Carlin Springs Road, Arlington, Virginia, and the time is from 8:30 to 11 a.m. The walk is intended for adults who want to get up early and see the early bird, but not too early, along with members of the Northern Virginia Bird Club. It's an informal event and no registration is required. If you have binoculars and field guidebooks to bring, so much the better. For information, call 703-228-6535. Back to Craig.
All right, Richard, also in our CBB file, or the Arlington Weekly News already has a regular News for Seniors feature, so it's a real pleasure to announce an event designed for members of our community at the opposite end of the age spectrum. In this case, it's called Tiny Tot, and it will take place at Gulf Branch Nature Center and Park, located at 3608 North Military Road here in Arlington. Cost is $5 per child at registration. Information should be on your screen there. But it's a great opportunity for parents to interact on a one-on-one basis with their very young children between the ages of 18 and 35 months as they discover the wonders of nature. Programs vary and may include songs, crafts, finger plays, and mini hikes. And best of all, it's not a one-time event. This event will also take place Wednesday, September 6th from 10 to 10:45 in the morning, and there will also be dates on September 8th and 9th in case you can't make the two previously mentioned dates. For more information, give them a call. Number was on your screen. We'll give it to you again there. It is 703-228-3403. Richard.
Also, on Wednesday, September 6th, author Jean Baer will be at the Shirlington Branch Library to discuss the impact of our food choices. The event will last from 7 to 8:30 p.m. and the address is 4200 Campbell Avenue, Arlington, Virginia, just south of Arlington Mill Drive. Mr. Barr will explore the effect that food choices have on individuals and those around them and provide advice based on his best-selling book, Living the Farm Sanctuary Life. Back to Craig.
All right, Richard, and that's it for our CBB file. We'll be back with News for Seniors right after we hear from Denise and her review. Here's Denise.
This season at Metro Stage begins with The Wizard of Hip, or When in Doubt, Slam Dunk, which was written, directed, and performed by Thomas W. Jones II. Jones, a playwright, lyricist, director, and choreographer, is no stranger to Metro Stage. As an artistic associate, he has directed more than a dozen plays there, having written most of them. However, this is the first time he has acted on their stage. Jones first performed this work locally at Studio Theater in 1992, but he has amped up the show for this production. Two backup singers, the Lady Doo-Wops, and new music by keyboard player William Knowles have been added. Knowles and Greg Holloway on drums are also well known at Metro Stage, while Jasmine Eileen Coles and Kenesha Williams are making their debut there. The Wizard of Hip's central character is Afro Joe in a coming-of-age tale that follows him from an awkward adolescence into adulthood, always in search of the proper level of hipness to help him relate to the world. It is a high-energy, constantly moving journey that focuses on Afro Joe as he jives and raps and hip-hops his way through life. The Lady Doo-Wops portray a number of other people he interacts with, from adolescent girlfriends to equally awkward boy peers to the tough love mother who shaped his life. Jones attests to being a little older, a little grayer, and hopefully a little wiser than when he first performed the show 25 years ago. At the end of his performance, he deserves the right to feel exhilarated and exhausted. He has danced step for step with his doo-wop ladies, all the while relating his philosophy of finding the perfect level of hip to live by. He has challenged you to navigate through a life that is too often defined by race and racism, encouraged you to laugh at life's struggles, and made you celebrate that slam dunk achieved by the Afro Joe Everyman. The Wizard of Hip continues at Metro Stage through September 17th. You don't even have to lace up your high tops and try to keep up with these characters. Just sit back, laugh, and enjoy. I'm Denise Pringle. Now back to the news desk.
All right. Thanks, Denise, and her take on the Wizard of Hip at Metro Stage. Thank you, Denise. We appreciate it. Here we go. As promised now, news for seniors coming your way right here in the Arlington Weekly News. September is Senior Center Month here in Arlington. There'll be an opera house, take two open house or opera house at the Aurora Hills Senior Center on Friday, September 15 from 12:30 to 2:30 in the PM portion of the day. You can learn all about the program and activities at the Senior Center and meet activity leaders who will explain what their groups do and how you can become involved in all of this fun. They're located at 735 18th Street South here in Arlington. For more information, number should be on your screen there, 703-228-5722. Richard.
If you're closer to the Arlington Mill Community Center, you can check out the 55-plus Senior Center tours, also set for Friday, September 15th, but running from 1 to 2 p.m. Arlington Mill has some new features, such as a filtered water system, green roof, and fitness center. The congregate meal coordinator will also be on hand to answer questions about the meal and transportation program. The address is 909 South Dinwiddie Street, near Columbia Pike in Arlington, Virginia. For more information, call 703-228-7369. Craig.
And also news for seniors, well, the next day on September 16, there'll be a downsizing fair. Well, it's fairly common for people as we age to lose a little bit of our height, but this isn't that kind of downsizing. This fair is about learning ways to eliminate clutter from your home and to enable to move to a smaller, more manageable living quarters. You take two, maybe you'll choose an apartment or condo or even a tiny, smaller house. There are several ways to prepare, including getting organized, donating unused items to charity, having a yard sale, or selling any antiques at an auction or an estate sale. This takes place at Arlington Mill Community and Senior Center from 10 a.m. to 1 in the afternoon. Remember, Henry David Thoreau and his famous quote, "Simplify, simplify," and now he's 200 years old. For more information, give them a call. Number should be on your screen, 703-228-7369. Richard.
We'll be closing our show with a special feature, a time-lapse recording of the recent eclipse, which was captured by our very own Corwin Ron Case. Corwin made the trip all the way to Tennessee in order to capture the full effect at 100%. But before that, we'll have a special interview with Ray Antonio.
Before we get to our closing here, we had a chance to have Mr. Ray Sun, as he goes by, come in for another installment of our Studio B continuing series. And Ray and I sat down and talked a little while ago, and here's what happened. Take a look. Hello, everyone. It's don't be alarmed, don't be afraid. It's me, Craig Nolan, your friendly co-anchor of the Arlington Weekly News. Here we are with another segment, I guess, of installment of Studio B. We've been trying to reinstitute Studio B, and so far we've been moderately successful. And tonight, or in this installment, this edition of Studio B, sitting with me is Ray Sun. Ray, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks
coming
for
down
having
here
me.
to do another installment of Studio B, and we'll talk a little bit, and we'll let Ray play here shortly. But welcome, as I said, and thanks for coming down to join us. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got started being interested in music? You mentioned piano lessons.
Grateful for my mom sending me to piano lessons when I was a kid.
About 5, 6, 7 years old.
Yeah.
Took lessons for a while,
Mm-hmm.
4 or 5 years. And when did you pick up the guitar?
I was a roadie for my friends back home in the Philippines. Maybe that was about late 70s.
Mm-hmm.
They had a band, and
You were a roadie.
I was a roadie for
the
them.
band. What was the name of the band?
Labuyo.
Labuyo. That's nice.
Yeah,
I like Labuyo. Do you know what it means?
It means two things: kind of hot pepper and the wild chicken, wild
Nice.
rooster in the
Labuyo.
forest. Labuyo.
I like that. So you were a roadie for Labuyo for a while. How many years? Few years.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that kind of sparked your desire to maybe pick up a guitar and play guitar.
Yeah, if I see a simple enough piece, it teach me that.
Yeah.
But the guitar was in the back burner for a long time. I picked it up maybe 11 years ago, and it's like riding a bicycle.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's
easier for
always
some
there.
than it is
and,
for others.
Practice is key.
Yes, it is. You got to play almost every day.
Practice is key.
And Ray, you pretty much based in Northern Virginia here now, Arlington, Alexandria. And I met Ray at IOTA on open mic night. They do open mic down at IOTA on Wednesday nights and have music other nights as well down there. But that's where I first met Ray, and was really just enthused by his playing and singing in his own particular style. It's really nice. I enjoy it. And you mentioned being a roadie. Can you tell us a little bit about this guitar? You said you bought that for like $50.
Yeah, at the National Pawn Shop by Spout
At the pawn
Run.
shop.
By
Spout Run and Lee
yeah.
Highway for $50.
$50.
$50
It's
guitar.
an imitation Martin.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a rare cheap guitar.
A rare cheap guitar, so it's a copy of a Martin. Looks good. Do you know if how many others are around or like that guitar? Probably not.
I hope mine's the
Maybe
only
yours
one
is
left.
one of a kind. One of a kind. So you got a collector's item there. Well, let's hear how it sounds. Would you like to play something for us? I mean, it's your show, so that's one of the reasons we asked you to come down here, just to sit and talk a little bit and play some music. So, your turn.
You just might be there. I like to see you just might be there. Take me there on a Saturday where the leaves stay in color. No one's there to discover. Day by day, take me there on a Saturday where the sky knows no shame. In every way, it's the same day after day. You just might be there. I like to see you just might be there, waiting for me. Take me there on a Saturday. The clouds are never that high. No question ever asks why, and time stands still. You will be there if things were by me. Together are we, is the picture I see. You should be there, happy as can be, just like we were. You're laughing with me. Take me there on a Saturday. The end doesn't know yesterday, and you are still there, waiting for me. Waiting for me.
Nice. Thanks, Ray. Well, that's about a wrap for this installment of Studio B. Thanks again, Ray, son, for coming down with us, sharing your music. We appreciate it. I appreciate it. And
Thank you.
if you want, you can come back anytime. I appreciate it. Thanks. That's it for this edition of Studio B. Back to the news desk. All right, thanks. Look at an interview with Ray's son, Mr. Ray. You can usually see him down at Iota, just up the street here a ways, on open mic nights every Wednesday night. And it's a good place to see Ray and his music. A nice guy and a real genuine music lover, I think. He started out playing piano at a young age and picked up a guitar in his teens and is still at it. So thanks so much to Ray for coming down and talking to us.
Any good news on Iota?
On Iota? I don't know. I don't know exactly what's going on in Iota. People I ask about it down there, you know, and no one seems to know. Some people have told me they've got till the end of the year. Some people are not sure. The owner of the building wants to tear it all out of there and put in, you know, residential.
That would be a loss to the community.
So yeah, it would, because it's one of the last few open mic
Yeah.
and, you know, places like that around in Arlington and all of Northern Virginia. It's a great spot there for all sorts of musicians. Okay, getting the cue here from Mr. Bill. Thanks, Mr. Bill. And thanks to all of you for watching this edition, our last show in August of 2017. Next week, if you're there, we'll be here and we'll try it all again. Have a safe week. Happy
Happy
Memorial
Labor
Day.
Day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.